Right now we're in Campo, California on a somewhat windy and chilly day, and we're on the site of what used to be Camp Locket, which was an army base from 1941 until 1946. The reason we're here today is we're looking for a monument that was built by Italian prisoners of war that were imprisoned here during World War II. So let's see if we could find it, and let's talk about the camp. Right now we're on Sheridan Road in Campo, and that large building you could kind of see off in the distance is the Auto Transport Museum, and I believe the POW monument is right through this gate up on the hill in those rocks. So heading up the hill to the monument, came across these concrete foundations here. And I'm not sure what these were for. This whole area used to be part of Camp Locket. As I mentioned, Camp Locket was created in 1941. Campo, California is right on the border with Mexico. And during the World War II time period, there was some fear that there would be an invasion from Mexico. And so they built military bases along the border. Camp Locket was one of them. It was 7,100 acres in size, had over 500 buildings, and had a garrison. Calvary was garrisoned here. In 1942, the troops here went to North Africa and were replaced by black soldiers. There was 3,500 black soldiers. The famous Buffalo Soldiers were stationed here. And then when they were disbanded in 1944, it became a prisoner of war camp. It held 400 Italian prisoners and 100 German prisoners. And so what we're looking for today is a monument that was built by the Italian prisoners of war. And like I said, I believe it's just right up the hill. And the monument should be right up in these rocks, and actually, I see it right there. Let's go get a closer look at it. And here it is. You can see these sort of balconies that were built right here. And then we have a little altar with the Virgin Mary in it. And we have a plaque. And I don't speak Italian or read it, so I don't know exactly what this says. If anyone knows what this says, please let me know in the comments. And it is really windy today. I apologize if the audio is terrible on this video. I'm trying to wait till the wind dies down to record. However, it just never seems to die down. So this Virgin Mary is not the original Virgin Mary that was placed here during World War II. The original is at the Gaskill Brothers Stone Store, which hopefully we'll check out in just a moment, as long as it's open today. We'll stop by there and see if we can see the original. But of course, anything out in the open, there's always vandalism. This is no different. As you can see, the glass has been cracked here. So the original is at the stone store. This is a replacement that was added later on. Next to the window, you could kind of see where there used to be what looks like a light fixture. I'm not sure when this was added, if it was original to 1944 or if it was added later. Nothing I've read about this mentions a light fixture, and I'm not sure where they would have gotten power from for the light anyway, but it looks like they had one here. I climbed to the top of the monument to get a better view. This was all once part of Camp Locket. Now there's housing here. But the reason I climbed up here, and I'll try to zoom in on it, is I don't know how good it's going to come out on the camera, but there is the border wall. I mentioned that Campo is right on the border with Mexico. There is the wall that separates Mexico and the United States right there in the distance. We're on top of the monument, and there's a nail in the boulder here. And you can see where cement was poured along here. I'm not sure what the purpose of this was. I don't know if it's to keep the boulders in place in order to protect the monument, or why concrete was poured here. As you drive around Campo, you can see a lot of the old buildings from Camp Locket, though unfortunately most are on private property, so there's not a whole lot of opportunity for exploring them. The Camp Locket site is on the California Register of Historic Places. They've tried to add it to the National Register of Historic Places, but due to the private property issues, they've been unsuccessful in that so far. And no visit to Campo is complete without a visit to the Gaskill Brothers Stone Store, and this is also where they have the original Virgin Mary that was at the POW chapel. The Gaskill Brothers Stone Store was built in 1885, replacing an earlier building that had been there since the 1860s, and this was the center of commerce for the area up until the 1920s. In front of the stone store there's a bench honoring the Buffalo Soldiers, who just so happened to also be the last horse cavalry in the U.S. Army. Inside the store, it's set up to look like how the store would have looked in the late 1800s. It's really fun to look around here and kind of just take a trip back through time. But the thing we came to see today is on the second floor. The second floor of the stone store has a pretty cool little museum covering the history of the military in the area, with exhibits, of course, on the Buffalo Soldiers and on Camp Locket. And here's the original Virgin Mary that was at the POW chapel. This was in the chapel from 1944 until 2002, when it was removed due to vandalism and replaced with a new one. This exhibit also has a lot more information on Camp Locket's couple years as a POW camp. So that's our look at the Italian POW monument and the former site of Camp Locket here in Campo, California. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.